Is the placement good? You can hear me?
Perfect.
Okay.
It was the last day of your tour.
Yeah.
How long was your tour?
A month. Almost exactly a month.
Have you been on a tour that was a month long before?
Not in one place. The last time we went on tour, I think it was a month, but we started in Europe and then we did the US after. So altogether it was a month, but it felt different because it was like basically two different tours.
Right.
We were on tour by ourselves and then we were on tour with Foster the People.
Oh yeah, how was that?
That was awesome.
I remember
it was really
Brian
cool.
telling me about that.
Yeah. It was a really cool experience because their fans like show up early to get to the front. So we played to packed houses and they're like really open to new things. It's not like too cool for school kind of
crowd
music fans who like aren't interested in hearing something new.
You know, that's always something that I felt would be so difficult as like an emerging artist. Because you know, like Sandy is like way below where you're at the moment, but you know, it's difficult. I mean, you have to have some sort of comfortability with yourself already to put yourself in front of a bunch of people and be okay with maybe them not receiving what you have.
Yeah, I think we get generally positive feedback. So I think I'm really, really lucky in that way, and that I haven't had to deal with that much negative feedback. But I also am like really good at blocking it out.
just shut it down. Just shut it. I don't need that. I don't need that negativity.
We were talking about this in the van, that it's so much about the way we were raised, or like the way I was raised, or like I've been through hard times in my life, but I think I generally like myself and have positive feelings toward myself deep down, even when I fucking hate myself. And I think it's because I grew up in a family that like loved me, and like I knew that, you know?
That helps.
It's easier for me to block out the negativity because there's just like a general baseline of like I'm worthy.
I'm worthy, and
even when I'm like at my lowest, like I know in my heart of hearts that I do like myself at the core.
And so you don't really let other people's opinions sway your moves or your next steps, or it doesn't cause you, like, even as I was doing this on the tour, like I would talk to somebody and they would talk to me like in this very condescending way, and there's just like there's a little voice inside of you that's just like, maybe I'm just not ready to do this, something like that. And then you just shut that down.
I mean, I forget about that now, but now that you were like, when I first started playing, I didn't grow up playing in bands. I didn't know anything, and there is this unspoken agreement in live music where like we're not going to explain anything to anyone.
You literally have to figure everything out
I did not understand how anything worked, or like what I was supposed to be doing during a sound check, or like really how to do anything, or like how to plug anything in, or how anything worked at all. And there was a lot of like,
it's like, oh,
like how do you not know that? And it's just like,
well, this
because
is my
first time. But like, it shouldn't matter that I don't know this thing that is really inconsequential to like what it actually matters picture. Is like making an experience for people.
Right.
But yeah, it's interesting. I'm sorry people spoke to you like that, but I'm not surprised. It's like, it's really common in like any industry. There's these like, a lot of the times the barriers to entry are just like minor knowledge that's like easily translated to somebody. Like you could easily just tell somebody. Like we did a show where I had my friend's dance company opening for us, and they were asking me all these questions because they didn't understand, they'd never played a music show before, and there's all these like really specific kind of understood things that if you're used to performing in the dance world, you wouldn't know. And I remember feeling like, why are they asking me this? I'm like, oh yeah, because they don't know. Like, they don't know how it works, so you just tell them.
You just explain it.
It's not hard. Just be like, oh yeah, in the music world, this is how it works. Usually, like, you show up at a lot of the times the venue doesn't open until this time, and you have to show up at the time they tell you to show up. You can ask to show up earlier, but I don't know.
It's also like juggling a lot of things at the same time. I felt like watching you on the tour. There was like your own shit that you had to worry about, but also the band and also the venue, and also like there's just like, it seems like there are so many balls just as you alone have to juggle, and it's like you can't rely on anybody else.
When we first started playing together, I used to basically tour manage. I used to do everything. Like, I'd book the shows, and I'd figure out our travel arrangements, and I'd be the one with the schedule. And it was really, really big step for me to be like, oh, I don't have to do everything, and it doesn't make me a better person that I did everything. And yeah, it's cool, but Bryant is way better at it than me. He likes to do it, and everybody is happier.
Right.
Because I used to just be like tense all the time on tour, and now I just like relax, and then we go to the show, it's fine. There are always like weird things you can't anticipate, like if the monitors aren't working and the band, like the headlining band, goes over their time, and then we have 10 minutes to sound check.
Right.
But I don't know, the guys are so easy to work with, and I think we all have like generally positive attitudes about everything, and it's just easier when you don't get stressed out. It's just like, it's fine. We have 5 minutes to sound check? Great. We have like a backup plan always.
Right.
Like, if our tracks don't work, we can play the whole set without them. We can play it just guitar music. There are literally like
so many
8 different ways we could play the show, and it's gonna be fine. If it's just me singing a cappella, then I'm singing a cappella. I'm doing my 30 minutes. But it's like,
that's why it's like the show. Kind of like the show must go on.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do?
Yeah, but it is a lot of. There's a particular pressure to all of our jobs. I think there's a pressure that the guys feel that I don't feel, like that they want to do a good job for themselves, but I know, like Josh has mentioned this, and I'm sure the other guys feel like they want to do a good job for me and to like support the band in a certain way. And like, I don't have that pressure as much because, obviously I want to do my best job always, but I don't have somebody that I'm working for that I have to please. It's just me. And honestly, I make the most mistakes of anyone in the band. And like, Garrett handles our tracks and like has a lot more setup involved. Bryant is like tour manages and is just like in general takes care of us a lot. And then Josh just like takes care of the vibes. Honestly, when we tour without him, it's really different because he has like this very light-hearted gentleness about him.
He's such a sweetie.
Yeah, he's such a sweetheart, and it's just like, it really changes when anybody's not there. Right. It really changes the vibe whenever we play with a sub, and we've played with like amazing people.
It was funny.
It's always different.
I was telling Bryant before I came on the bus with you guys, the tour van, I was like, I'm about to fuck up your whole dynamic. Like, shit's about to change for you.
No, it was so great, honestly. Because that was exactly at the point, I think maybe 2 nights before you met up with us was the night that I like had my breakdown. Like, I always have a breakdown, and it's usually like right before, like 5 dates before we're finished. When we were on tour with Foster the People, there was this show where like right before we started playing our second song, I was just like, I feel really homesick today, and I just have to share that with you because
you shared it with the band, or you shared it with the audience?
I was like, because I'm gonna cry.
I'm probably
now.
gonna cry.
And
at
I
this
was
moment.
just like, and then I just cried the entire rest of the set. I played the whole set just like crying, like tears streaming down my face. And then I tried to sell merch, but I couldn't stop crying. So I just like went and walked around the city, went to a bar and like got drunk. I called my mom, and my brother picked up. And I've never really had like really heavy emotional like, conversations with my brother. Like, I think we're close, but he's just not the person I call. But I just remember my brother picked up my mom's phone, and I was just like, Andy, I can't stop crying, and nothing's wrong. I just am crying.
I just am crying, and I need somebody to talk to.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I think I just kept saying like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Oh my God.
Because it's just like, and then I think this time it was in Chicago or Boston. I think it was Boston. It was Boston. It was just like, the audience was they were very receptive. Like afterwards, they came up to me and like said they liked it and stuff, but their faces were a bit cold.
You were reading, when you were performing,
when I was performing,
reading very cold.
It was reading very cold, which is fine. Like, I often see music and am not like, sometimes ecstatic. I like it and sometimes I'm not moving, and that's, it's, I don't want to ever make people feel like they have to
be jumping up and down
an audience member in a certain way.
Yeah.
But it does feel harder when you're not getting very much back. But yeah, so then I just like cried and cried and cried. And part of it was like, I wanted like women. And and this was like a couple days before you came on, so I was just like, oh my God, thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God. It was very cool traveling with Kate Nash's team too, because it's very female centric, and that was like so cool, so nice. They're all fucking killer people. Yeah. And it was like a very different experience than any other tour we've been on. Like they were I've hung out with the bands we tour with, but it's always been like a bit more just like polite, just like hello, let's hang out at this time.
It's not really friendly or
they
candid.
Like watched our show every night, and I watched their show every night. That's rare for a headlining band to watch the opener every night. And I don't always watch the headliner because it's the same show. Right. But they're really dynamic players and personalities, so it was just like fun and different. They play different songs a lot, and they're just cool people. I feel like I got closer with them than any other band we've toured with.
They just seem like so fun.
Really fun.
Just I mean, professional, like this perfect balance between being very professional, having done this many, many times. I know this was Kate's first tour in a while, right?
Yeah, but they've been playing together for like 7 years.
Right,
or
they've been playing together for a long, long, long time. And it's hard to find that balance. And that was one of the things I was curious about, was how, well, just especially with the juxtaposition, however the fuck you say that word, between Kate Nash, all female, and you having all male other than yourself, especially as you're talking about like needing to cry, needing to have alone time, needing to be feminine in a group of, not that they're not in touch with their feminine sides, but
it's just different. It's like, so like one of our friends from LA happened to be at that show, and I didn't know she was going to be there, and when I found out she was there, I was like, where are you? I need you to come to the green room right now.
I absolutely need you.
Because it's just different. The guys are like, what's wrong? And I'm like, that's not the right question. Right. When I call, I'll usually like call a friend, and they know. They're just like, it's fine. You're tired. you're really tired.
It's okay to have feelings.
It's okay.
It's okay to feel
and
stuff.
They know that there's no reason I'm sad.
Right, there doesn't need to be.
I'm just tired. Our set is so emotional.
Yeah.
And there's like, singing is not like anything else in the world. It's literally like creating vibrations and channels in your body, and it's really intense.
Yeah.
It's intense to do it
while
every
watching
day.
you perform, Miya, is like, I mean, I was only there for 3 shows. I mean, I've seen you perform before, but it's more, I mean, obviously a performance is a work of art, but it's more than just going out there and singing the best that you can. It's like your whole being is involved in your performance.
It's an athletic endeavor.
It really is. And I mean, and that, so it makes sense to me that I don't know how you're not crying every single performance.
I wish I was. That'd be really intense.
Because you know, it just seems like it's so much.
Yeah, and I think
to pull on.
It's and it's only the beginning. I mean, we only play 30 minutes on this tour.
Right.
Kate played it like an hour and 45 minutes. And that's why, like, if she had never hung out with us and never spoken to us, I would have not thought she was rude. It's hard. It's just like, she gives so much of herself for that long, and then, like, you don't have anything else to give after that. It's really hard. You have to protect yourself.
Will showed me the photo of you under the merch table at Irving Plaza. You're like, no, I'm hiding.
I'm hiding.
I'm gonna hide today. I'm gonna hide the rest of the show.
I always get like, I always have this like nice relationship with the merch person because I hang out with them all the time.
Yeah.
And Megan was the best.
Oh, Megan is the best. Yeah, she's so sweet.
But also on Foster the People's tour, their merch person probably shouldn't tell anybody. It doesn't matter. He would let me. I would sometimes nap on their merch because they'd have like piles of shirts. So I would like sleep on the piles of shirts under the table.
You gotta take a nap.
Because I sell right after our set, and then I don't sell while the headliner is playing. Right. So it's usually like an hour and a half at least of waiting.
Of needing a nap.
It's a good time to nap on some t-shirts.
It seems like the best and most appropriate place to nap. Where the fuck else are you gonna nap? I mean,
because sometimes
technically you could go to the van, but that's just a pile of luggage.
And sometimes we don't really have a very private green room like in New York.
Right.
Like after that show, I did not feel well, and there's no place for me to like go to lie down. Like, I was changing in that green room, and like the people who worked, like, I wasn't wearing any pants, and the guy from the venue was like bringing us snacks, and I was just like, hi. Came in right at the right time. Like,
caught me at my best moment.
Yeah, caught me at my best moment. Hello. But I think it helps that I'm not super private. Right. I'm like pretty open, but there are limits. It's just like, it's one of those things where like, it's okay, it's fine. Oh my God, it's not fine.
Oh wait, stop. Everything stop
Everybody
immediately.
Get out. But the guys are really, like, they're super understanding, and they and I'm sure they feel like they want to be alone, and they feel overwhelmed. We're just different.
It's just
like,
different
I'm
thing.
a very like, oh, I'm gonna cry, because I don't have as much of like a wall, I think, as they do.
Me neither.
So I'm just like,
it's time. It's
over.
happening. Here it is.
It's happening.
Get ready.
Yeah.
But also, men just tend to show their emotions in different ways too. I mean,
yeah.
It could be very introverted or a very extroverted manner.
But even like over the course of these 3 years, they've really opened up as people.
Yeah.
Like, they're all like pretty private people.
Right.
Like they're very respectful, very private people. Don't really open up And when they do, it's very like they choose exactly what they're going to share. And they've opened up a lot in the last few years, like Bryant especially.
Yeah. Would you say just to you or as a whole dynamic person?
I think just like as people.
Yeah.
I've always been very open, but I feel like I'm much more patient. Like being with them has taught me a lot about patience and just like touring. Because I think when we first started playing together, I mean, I live by myself.
Yeah.
And I like things to happen quickly. And I don't understand when people don't understand what I'm asking for. I'm like, I said it very clearly.
There's no other way to say it.
Yeah, it's like you just get used to being more patient and just not letting things affect your mood because it doesn't help.
Well, I could imagine like starting the bus ride, and you get into a tiff with somebody, or like something happens that pisses you off, and now you have 10 hours in a van with other people. You can't be alone. It's like
it's just deciding to let it go and then actually letting it go. And we're good. Yeah. Like there was one night where we were talking about like copyright. And we had like some weird disagreement. We were all really hungry, and we hadn't eaten. And then we went to a bar that we thought had food, but then they weren't serving food. They were only serving appetizers.
That would happen.
And we were just like hangry. Yeah. And when we were like, okay, when we leave this place, no more talking about copyright. It's off the table. And then we had like an amazing night because we were just like, no, we're not going to do this anymore. This is tense and
it's too much.
But we also just like don't really fight, and we were always like, everyone's pretty good about being like if Josh feels like he said something that upset me, he'll be like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you.
Yeah.
Did I upset you? And I'll be like, yeah, but it's fine, doesn't matter. Or I'll be like, no. Not a big deal,
but even just that, the acknowledging, is huge.
It's huge.
It's huge for.
And then we just like you talk about it, and then we're not like stewing.
It's like a relationship. It's like being in a non-sexual relationship with 3 other men.
Yeah,
in a van.
It's it's easier than a relationship in that you don't have to sleep with them,
I'm just kidding.
or maybe it's just like a really good relationship. Yeah.
Yeah,
because there's no like anxiety.
It's a healthy relationship.
We express our feelings. Also like gratitude.
Huge.
Just like, I think they're all really like grateful people.
Yeah.
And we talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
Like we'll be in the van, we'll be like, this is our real life.
That's so
Isn't
sweet.
this amazing? Like, I think we really try to enjoy every step and everything about it. Like, we get to drive 7 hours today.
Like, this is our choice. This is something we
get to do that. It's a privilege.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
we get to play for 30 minutes, even though we want to play for an hour.
Yeah.
Like, no, but we get to do this, and it's the coolest job in the world. If you like to do it. I'm sure for some people it would be hell. But I mean, we can sleep anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, we feel lucky, but we also like we have plans.
Yeah,
we want things to get bigger
and better.
We want a tour bus. We want everything bigger, better.
What are your?
We're on Tour Bus 2020. We want a bus by 2020.
Okay, I like it.
Maybe hopefully sooner.
That's a good. I feel like that's a good.
I want to play Coachella and Primavera and Coachella's weird.
Coachella's a little weird. But I understand.
Primavera, like we want to be playing like Sunset, Primavera, massive crowd.
I have no
Everyone's
doubt.
crying.
Everyone is
hysterical. I want everyone to be like, the feeling I want people to get from the show is like they're dancing and smiling but crying at the same time. That's what I want.
I would say I was there. I've been at that place multiple times.
Yeah, that's good. And I want it. But I want to play big places. Not necessarily like stadiums, but like big festivals and big special venues.
And the boys feel comfortable with that?
Yeah.
They want that too?
Yeah.
Like, because it has to be like a team goal, I would imagine. You know?
I mean, if they didn't want it, I would find other people.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
it's just,
that makes sense.
You know, like, but I'm lucky that they are willing to go there with me. I love playing with them, but I'm like open to playing with other people. Not like, I think I have like a solid touring band, but like here and there, making something with other musicians is really important for me because I didn't have that.
Huge.
I didn't have like a childhood where I was in like 3 bands in high school. Like I'm still learning a lot, and I want to be open to like playing with different people because you learn something every time you do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that was something I was even talking to Sandy about. I was like, we got to get out to LA and maybe even do a collab with Miya. And we've been doing collaborations with other people in our area. Even though it was funny, like we did a show the other night. It was a birthday party at a bar. It wasn't big or anything, but it was all white. Like the whole crowd was white and black. And Sandy's music is in Spanish, and it is Spanish music.
Yeah.
And he was so astounded to see that other races of people, like people who generally wouldn't listen to his kind of music, were really getting into it.
That's so cool.
And that's why I think collaboration is so fun, because it brings together so many different genres and vibes and audiences. Because, like you said, Foster People, they had their own audience that was really engaged, and just that experience of being able to share your music with people who otherwise maybe would have never heard it.
Right. Yeah.
So that's so fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah, because I feel like I want my music to feel inclusive and welcoming and not exclusive.
Yeah.
And so it always excites me to go on tour with a band that, is like, they're quite different from us, but like I think their fans could like what we do. And I'm interested in, because we have toured mostly with acts that have a predominantly white audience, which is just the way how it's happened so far. But like, I'm definitely not interested in being an artist that only sings to white people. No, because I mean, my influences are so much broader than that.
Right.
It's so much broader than that. I'm excited at the prospect of like expanding that audience. And like you said, with the collaborations, I'm excited about, I like collaborating with people on my music. I want to start writing for other people. Yeah. I love the idea of I write a bunch of songs that don't feel right for me. Yeah. So I'm excited when I have more time that I'm not like working so focused on my own project or my album that I can like write some stuff for other people.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could imagine as an artist, there's a lot that you'll think of, but not all of it is necessarily for you.
Yeah.
Not all of it is gonna speak to the vibe that you want to give out, but it's still your like creative baby. Yeah.
And there's also, here and there I'll see bands or artists where I think there's something very special about you, but I just don't think your songs like represent you well. I feel like it's interesting because there's like this weird pressure on everyone to be a writer and do everything, but I don't think there's anything wrong with being a singer and performer who doesn't write. Not. Like there's those people are very special in a different way. And some people just aren't writers. And if they want to perform those songs that are not that good, like that's fine.
That's fine.
But if
you have to like tailor your expectations with what you're presenting. It's like, if I think that comes a lot down to like ego. If your ego gets in the way and you're like, no, I have to perform this is my song, it has to be mine, I think you're limiting yourself in a lot of ways. It's very limiting.
I think the way that music everybody has Ableton and Logic, and it's really easy to make your own music at home. And I think that's awesome. And I love making my own music at home. But like, I know I'll make a better song if I let people help me.
Yeah.
And that's the way I want to do it. But it does, like, I think because you can do it all yourself, there's this like strange pressure to do it all yourself.
Right.
And to be a producer and an engineer and play everything. And I am not interested in that.
I think it's important.
I'm like, I love knowing, having the knowledge, and being able to do it.
Yeah.
I don't have to do it. Because I don't want to do it.
Right.
I know I make better music when I let people help me. Well, not necessarily. Like, I like some of my shitty demos, and they have very strong vibe, but I don't know. I just want, I've always wanted to make like bigger things.
Yeah.
But I think it's super cool when people do everything themselves. I'm just not interested in that.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, it's always good to try and figure out what it is ultimately that you want to do. And I think the only way you can do that is by doing many different things.
Yeah.
If you know, like, your thing is music and you want to be a performer and you want to do like that, it's a big industry under which, like, it's a huge umbrella under which there are so many different things that you can do. Performer, singer, writer, there's so many different ways that you can express that. Trying them out never hurts. But
and I like
hone it in at some point.
It took me several years. I mean, I haven't been doing this for that long, but in the past couple years, it's been really fun and interesting and exciting to feel like I've done the Ableton thing and demoed things myself and tried to learn how to produce and play different instruments, and now I know what I like to do and what I want to bring to the table. It makes it really, I'm at ease in walking into a room with anybody because I know what my strengths are. I know where my value lies.
Yeah.
And I know that even if somebody is incredibly well regarded or even famous, like, that's cool. But like, I also know, like, this is my strength, and it's something that's unique to me and nobody else can bring.
It's true.
I definitely I'm a writer and a singer and a performer. And I think I'm a director, like a visual person. And those are my strengths. I don't want to be an engineer. I don't need to be the best guitarist. Like, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, letting go. Like, letting go and knowing your worth, knowing your value, knowing who you are.
Yeah.
And letting go of everything else.
Yeah, everything else.
So you can really focus and hone.
Yeah.
Huge.
That's huge for me. And like letting people take care of things for me, because it gives them a sense of ownership and also makes my life way easier.
Yup.
Yeah.
It's like dual, it's like a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
You need it.
Because nobody wants to work with somebody who doesn't make them feel valued, even if it's not on purpose. And I think I used to do that, is like, by trying to do everything myself, I didn't
acknowledge the gifts of others.
Yeah, like, you're better at that than me. You do that.
Yeah, it's huge. So important.
And then my life is easy breezy.
Easy breezy, lemon peasy.
Yeah.
Miya, thank you so much for letting me do this with you. I have one last question.
Okay.
What sort of advice would you give to younger female aspiring artists who are trying to make it happen?
Just do it. In the words of Nike. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Do everything.
Don't wait until you feel good enough. Like that's the biggest thing, because I waited, and I'm happy with the way my life has turned out. I feel good.
Yeah.
But like maybe it could have happened earlier because I was afraid, because I didn't feel good enough, and I thought I had to be really good at everything.
Right.
I remember the moment when I saw a band that I really liked, and I realized like I thought you had to be like great at guitar for some reason. I had this weird thing about guitar. Like I didn't feel good at it, and then I saw this band, and this guy was playing guitar, and I was like, I'm better than that guy.
And he's doing what I want to do.
And I had this weird thing about calling myself a musician. Like even now when people ask me what I do and I'm like, oh, I'm a musician, it still sounds weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird. It's like I have like severe imposter syndrome, but it's kind of fading. But yeah, I would say just do it unless you don't really, really, really want to.
Well, try and figure out first.
Yeah,
if it's,
but the voice is there
right
or it's not.
Yep.
And yeah, just be patient. Be patient.
And
be
do it.
Nice. And
do it.
Don't listen to the fuckers. Don't listen to the assholes.
Miya Folick, don't listen to the assholes. Signing out.
Signing out.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much.